The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas. That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors. The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
At Toyota's national sales event, we don't just help you get the perfect vehicle. We're here to open new doors that lead to your road to greatness. Your journey starts at Toyota's national sales event.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I'm Corey. I'm a dairy nutritionist here in the Treasure Valley. I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to do my part to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. As soon as the vaccines were readily available, I was vaccinated. I would encourage people to do the research, listen to the healthcare providers. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, there was hardly any wait. It was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
It's not a secret that finding a new car this year is a little tricky. Between chip shortages and supply problems, there's more reasons than ever to come to our no-problem dealerships when you need a new car or truck. Our acquisitions team works hard to make sure that we have a great selection of vehicles to choose from, and our easy-to-buy, easy-to-do business with sales team is ready to deliver the same great value price that we've had for nearly 20 years. Teton Toyota, where it's always no problem to buy and service your car.
Well, welcome everyone to the nightcap here in the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. The Skyline Grizzlies taking on the Green Canyon Wolves. Green Canyon, newer high school out of
Cache Valley.
Valley, down near Logan in Utah. Is it actually in Smithfield?
I believe it is. Well,
Okay.
It was a split of Skyline.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, of Skyview High School.
Skyview.
And so, yep.
So Green Canyon, the Wolves out there. Of course, the coin toss going on right now. Tell us a little bit about these two teams.
Well, Green
Lance?
Canyon, you know, like all the Utah schools that are up here in the Rocky Mountain Rumble, they have 2 games under their belt so far. They're 2-0 on the season. They've had a couple of close ones. They beat Crimson Cliffs, which is the newest school in the St. George area, and they won that 17-13, and they beat Park City 19-17. So they've had a couple close games under their belt. As far as Skyline goes, they're your returning state champions. They've won 3 state championships in 6 years at the 4A division, including the first 2 when they went up 4A, and then at 2 and they didn't. And then last year they won it again over a tough Emmett team. You know, Skyline, a lot of people, including me, have really picked them to kind of run the table in 4A this year.
And they'll have a little bit of a challenge here going up against a good Green Canyon team. Green Canyon, well, Utah so far in this Rocky Mountain Rumble, they're up 2-0 over the Idaho schools.
Yep, they are. Had a really tight one first game. It came down to a final play to determine the outcome of that game, and then Morgan took care of Sugar Salem. Sugar Salem losing their main running back right after that, after the first series, and anyway, just ended up kind of being a tough night for Sugar Salem, but We got 5 more games on the docket, including this one.
Yep, that's
and
right.
4 tomorrow. It's our nightcap tonight.
And this is an IdahoSports.com game stream production of East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group. Also brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter, and Valley-wide Cooperative. Huge thanks to all of our local sponsor as well, which is going to be Teton Toyota Volkswagen. You'll hear from them as we go to commercial a little bit. Huge thanks to Teton Toyota over the past many years, have been a huge supporter of Eastern Idaho
and a great
athletics.
Partner of ours.
Yes, a huge benefit to us, and hopefully we've been a benefit to Teton Toyota. But they do so much in the community around, the Idaho Falls area, and even up here into, the Rexburg area as well.
Of course, this area now getting geared up for harvest season coming up. Of course, the spud harvest, and a lot of grain in this area as well. As we get back, it's going to be Skyline receiving the ball. As Sadiq is one of the deep, ready to bring it out. Taggart the other.
And we had our first ball come off the tee with all the wind. It hasn't been awful, but it's been consistent, and that's the first one that's fallen off the tee. So we've been pretty lucky throughout these games.
Well, yeah, it's been a little bit windy today. Wind has picked up now. It died down a little bit during the last game. It's picked up a bit now. Of course, tomorrow it's not supposed to be hardly windy at all.
A low kick in with the wind, though, and Sadiq saved it.
Yeah,
and
Sadiq is a name you're going to hear a lot tonight. Kenyon Sadiq, the junior wide receiver. Last year as a sophomore, just kind of tore it up.
So it'll be the first possession here. Skyline Green Canyon. Beautiful day here. Wanted to show, we've talked a little bit about the last time we were here at Madison High School. This is what it looked like. Not near as warm and nice. There was snow, and we weren't in a nice
everything else
nice booth, but a little bit nicer today with the.
So Lachlan Hackey, start at quarterback. He's the 6'2" junior.
There is Sadiq. His first reception goes for a first down out across the 40 down to the 42. Yeah, Lachlan Hackey played on JV last year, and he looked phenomenal on their JV team last year. And we, anybody that watched him knew he was going to be the incoming starter this year, and replacing big shoes though to fill.
Yeah, he was, and not only that, but he. We saw him in a couple varsity plays.
He did play a little bit
here and there because they blew a lot of teams out last year, so he was able to get some PT there as well.
That handoff went to number 23 on the sweep.
That's Taggart.
Taggart. He did a good job for him last year as well. Or excuse me, it was not Caden Taggart. Caden Taggart just a sophomore this year, 5'7", 150. It was his older brother who graduated, made a big difference as well last year for the Skyline Grizzlies. Of course, head coach Scott Berger, a lot of success as of late for this Skyline Grizzly team.
I think we're going to hear a lot of Hackey to Sadiq tonight.
That time, handoff goes to Silverio. Silverio, also a big contributor last year.
Yeah, and he's just a junior this year as well. I mean, so we've got there is a legitimate possibility for Skyline to win 3 championships in a row. I mean, meaning it's not one of those we look at and say, boy, they're losing all these great players. I mean, they have got some good kids coming back next year too. I mean, when you consider Hackey as a junior, Sadiq is a junior, Taggart's a sophomore,
Silverio
a junior, Parker Shakira, well, he's a senior. He doesn't return next year, but they've got a lot of players that are contributors that will return.
Not a lot of seniors on the roster, honestly. We start looking through it. Less than a third.
Yeah, that's right.
Of this roster, well less than a third of this roster are seniors. So a holding penalty brings it back. They get it out to Taggart. Taggart makes a couple guys miss and gets some of that yardage back out to about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and Ethan Notstead might have got away. Number 4 might have got away with the push in the back there on that play. It was one of those 50-50s, and maybe as an official you kind of stay off of that early on in the game.
Notstead, one of those seniors, Ethan Notstead, wide receiver, 5'10", 170 pounds, and
Sadiq, it should be noted, a good basketball player as well.
Yeah, just a great overall athlete. Hackey rolling to his left. Throws it. It's caught, but off balance. Caught by Silverio, and because he's off balance, no chance to advance that.
Yeah, he ended up with a yard gain on the play. Is it?
Now it's 4th down and about 6, but they're going to bring on the punt crew. And it looks like Sadiq might be doing the punting.
Yeah, he very well could be.
And he is back there lined up in position to punt. Back 4 to receive. I can't see the number for sure for. And Sadiq gets it away. Not a great punt. Came off the side of his foot a little bit, but takes a decent bounce.
Yeah, it does. Goes down to about the 25, 26-yard line, 25 we'll call it. And you know, the nice thing about having somebody like Kenyon Sadiq do your punting for you is he's always that run threat as well.
Yeah.
So teams have to play honest on it.
Back there to receive potentially would have been Caden Stewart, number 6. He's a junior wide receiver and safety for the Wolves.
Well, not only was that kick an end over end, but it was into the wind as well. A wind that has picked back up, and we're looking probably between 14 15 miles per hour.
Jack Stevens looks like starting quarterback, as they're kind of in a spread here a little bit. One man in the backfield with Stevens, but as one of the wideouts moves more into a traditional blocking position.
Stevens just a junior.
Stevens in trouble, and he goes down. First play of the game and a sack for number 1, Parker Kucera.
Yep.
Kucera.
Yeah, Parker Kucera got in there, and then, you know, gang tackle after that, but he got in there quick. They just failed to pick him up coming off that edge.
That's a good way to start your senior season.
Yeah, it is.
One play, 1 sack.
Yep. That's right.
Loss of 10, 2nd and 20. Handoff up the middle, room to run, and that is the ball carrier, number 37, Gavin Christiansen, junior.
Yeah, in on the tackle as well, number 8, Trey Olson, a junior linebacker. Again, another one of those players that will return. And I think the key really for Green Canyon is you got to work yourself into the secondary. If you can get into the secondary, some good things are going to happen for you. The hard part is when everything stops right on the line.
Back to pass. In trouble. Going to go down, sacked again. Number 71 for Skyline, Alex Cortez, another senior. 2 sacks on the opening drive, and I'll bring up 4th and long.
That's right. And they list Cortez is 6 foot, 225 pounds. I'm telling you what, he's all of 6 foot. But he'd probably have to lose 30 pounds to only be 225 pounds.
He's a big kid.
He is a big boy.
Yeah.
Probably not as big as that Kenneth Copley dude.
Yeah, Kenneth Copley was a big boy, former lineman for Sugar Salem, college wrestler now.
So back to punt for the Wolves. That's number 3 doing the punting, Cole Fife. Taken.
This is by Taggart again.
And with some room to run.
Yeah, finally brought down by Caden Stewart.
Flag flies in late.
And I think it's going to go against, honestly, I think that's going to go against Skyline.
You know, for the most part, almost no matter how many flags are thrown, because this is our 3rd game for the day, you could almost combine all the other games and it wouldn't match the second quarter of our first game on the day between Beaver, Utah, and Marsh Valley from Idaho.
That's true. That last game, you know, it wasn't too bad.
No.
A block in the back, and I saw it. It was out in the open. No choice but to throw that one.
That's right.
And it was really unnecessary, too. So all the way back to the 50. So still good field position for Skyline, but you don't like to see those early flags on just kind of unnecessary plays, really.
Well, particularly when you had a really good stop.
Yeah.
You know, that just happened. You got good. I mean, you still got good field position, but it took away even better field position. We're going to have single coverage out to the right with Sadiq.
That might be a mistake. Handoff goes to Taggart. Taggart cuts it back inside and picking up about 4 or 5 yards by the time he finally got taken down.
Yeah, looks like they're going to end up giving him 5 off that. You know, Taggart's not super big, but he's got that low center of gravity. He's quick, and as long as you follow your blockers, you can have a lot of success with that.
Yeah, 5'7", 150, sophomore. So he's got some time to grow a little bit, maybe bulk up a little. Caden Taggart, just a sophomore. Sadiq going one-on-one right there. It's Peyton Wood, senior cornerback, with him. Now they bring over some help, it looks like. They do get it to Sadiq, and he'll pick up a few more.
Yeah, and continues to drag the defensive man afterwards. You know, that's one of those things, you know, that is so underrated. Now they start keeping stats for it, not in high school, but you see it at the college and pro division of yards after catch, you know, and that's something that is so big, and Sadiq is so good at that, yards after the catch.
I think so. We just got handed a birthday wish. And through up the middle goes Silverio, and he'll pick up big yardage, a first down inside the 20. Bron Silverio, and he's going to be a big contributor. He contributed last year as a sophomore on varsity, and he's going to even be a bigger part of the offense this year.
Yeah. Yep, very, very good ball player. And this is a Skyline team that's only lost last year. It came to 5A Rigby, and it was a pretty good-sized loss, and they're going to look to avenge that this year.
Well, swing it out to Taggart. Taggart's got a blocker in front of him in Sadiq, and Taggart will get inside the 10, close to another first down. And Merrill with the tackle. As we are down to 6:20 left here in the first quarter, as Skyline threatening to score here early, down to the 8-yard line. First and goal for the Grizzlies.
First and goal from the 8-yard line.
Handoff goes to Silverio. Silverio pushing forward, spinning inside the 5. Second and goal at the 4.
Well, and if you're Silverio, that's where you get up and you pat your offensive lineman on the back and you say, thanks, guys. There's
Thanks
a lot of help.
the push.
That's right. Which used to be illegal at one time in
Yeah.
the game. Not illegal anymore. Still no score. Just over halfway through the first quarter.
Second and goal now for the Grizzlies. See if they decide to go to the air or keep it on the ground here with Silverio and Taggart right with Hackey. Hackey's going to roll to his right. Throws to Taggart. He's not going to get in.
What a great tackle. Came up by number 3, Cole Fife, a senior wide receiver and safety. Safety, of course, in this scenario, did an excellent job.
Yeah, came across and popped Taggart at the 2, and now it's third and goal.
For Green Canyon, for the Wolves, we do not have, height and weight like we do for Skyline. But I can't imagine that Cole Fife is more than maybe 150 pounds and came up and laid a great hit. Keep Taggart out of the end zone.
So Taggart's split out now. Silverio's the only man in the backfield. It goes to Silverio. He's not going to get there. He's going to be down at the 1.
He is, and I wouldn't be surprised just to see Skyline try to punch this in.
Though Hackey coming on, no, Hackey's just coming over to talk to the coaches. A little bit of change in personnel. But Hackey will run back out there. And, yeah, I think they have enough faith in their run game thus far that they're going to try to go for this.
Well, and I think they have enough faith defensively based after what happened that if they don't score here, they feel good. Something good's going to happen on defense.
Power run, I formation. They do pitch it to Taggart, trying to get to the outside, cuts it back in. Touchdown, Skyline. Good running by Caden Taggart.
Boy, and Cole Fife, who made the great tackle last time, just got kind of juked out of his shoes during this one. Then he ends up running past Carter Hodges right into the end zone. And, by the time Aiden Merrill hit him, it was just too little too late. He was already in.
That's a tough job there to tackle Taggart in that scenario because it looked like he was going to the outside. You kind of have to force him back inside.
That's right.
And so it did a good job that way, but.
Yeah, Cole Fife, he came out straight on that and just got juked and taken to the inside.
In for the PAT, I think that's number 44, Jacob DeMott.
Timeout called by.
It is, in fact, DeMott. And why would you
And
necessarily call a timeout in this scenario?
I think they were lined up wrong. Just the way that everybody's kind of coming over, I don't think they were lined up properly for the extra point.
It's Jacob DeMott, the junior, out there to kick.
Well, we're always looking for good teammates here at IdahoSports.com. So if you're talented and you want to get involved in what we do, salespeople, producers, camera operators, writers, photographers, even broadcasters, we're looking for everybody. Editor at IdahoSports.com is who you need to email to find out more. We do a lot more than just broadcasting. Check back to the website, especially today. It's Friday night, lots of football going on around the state of Idaho. Check back for updated scores, schedules, standings. We got polls, action photography galleries, and written content from every corner and nook and cranny of the state.
Well, speaking of new partners, we've brought C.J. Parkinson on. He came and has done these games for us today. The Rocky Mountain Rumble, as this fake extra point falls apart.
Yeah, they tried to toss it forward to Caden Taggart, and it fell incomplete. It's not a fumble, it's a forward pass. So that attempt fails, and it'll stay 6-0.
Boy, we're seeing a lot out of Taggart so far in this ball game. Just a sophomore, a guy that's going to come back a couple more years, for the Skyline Grizzlies and for Coach Berger. And I just think that, Taggart is a guy they're going to be able to rely on. You got your natural leader built into this system as well with him as time moves on, and, of course, with Sadiq. I was a little surprised down there in the end zone that we didn't see him go to Sadiq. He had a couple cross routes that he was open on that I felt they could have gone to him. He was just slightly out of view of Hackey, I guess, because Hackey was rolling. But Sadiq's going to be a key, really, to win any ball game. Sadiq you're going to have to rely on heavily as well.
They had Cade Marlowe was the quarterback last year, and just a phenomenal quarterback.
Yeah, Marlowe was sensational.
And that's, for Hackey coming in, he's going to have to work into his own game. He's not Cade Marlowe. He's a good talent in his own right. He's going to have to work into it just like Cade did. I mean, Cade's junior year, it was a different story, but his senior year, he really came on.
That's right. Well, and Marlowe had played behind Taylor, who was there, before, who was an excellent quarterback as well. And so, you have those scenarios where you've got to become you. And it's nice when you have a couple years to become you in that system,
And Hackey, like you mentioned, he got a taste of the varsity level last year as he came in relief, in multiple games. And like I said, I watched him at the junior or at the JV level, and he's a talent. The kid's going to be good. He's going to do good things this year. As the season goes on, I just expect him to get better and better. And next year he's going to be, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Idaho.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly 4A, but maybe overall in the state.
So a short kick after the penalty taken at the 20 by number 3, Cole Fife. He'll return it out past the 35-yard line.
Yeah, we're seeing Fife on both sides of the ball. And, one of the things we talked about with the little bit smaller schools, as they were playing earlier, is you see most of your top players will go both sides of the ball. Yeah. As you get up into 4A, you will have some, but not as many. And at the 5A division, you have a lot of players that will just play one side of the ball.
Yeah. Green Canyon takes over on their own. So Green Canyon making the trip up out of Logan, Smithfield area.
North Logan is what?
North Logan.
Yeah, officially North Logan.
They will line up here. Another possession opportunity here. 3:58 left in the first quarter. Down 6-0. As back in the gun is Jack Stevens. Handoff goes to Caden Stewart around the right side. Going to pick up some decent yardage, about 5 yards on the carry.
Yeah, Johnny Baczek, I believe is how you say that. Number 89, boy, he was in there quick. And they listed him as 6'3", 195, which is kind of a tight end size, as you see there. But he even looks a little bit bigger than that 195.
Yeah, Baczek, I believe.
Baczek, pardon me.
Johnny Baczek. Greg Baczek, the AD, not sure, might be his son.
Very well could be.
Pitch goes to number 37 that time for Green Canyon. Nowhere to go, though. That's Gavin Christiansen. And lost most of those yards that they gained on the first play. It'll be 3rd and 9, excuse me. 3 minutes and counting here in the first quarter. Our final game of the evening.
Gavin, also a linebacker for Green Canyon.
So 4 men lined up as receivers in this formation. And nice pitch and catch as he was all covered up.
Yeah, and it looks to be just short of the first down marker, which will bring up a 4th down, I believe.
I actually thought that
4th and inches.
Kuchera, I thought that he actually got to the receiver pretty early on that play. There was
I did
a fair
too.
amount of contact early.
I don't think if they would have called a pass interference, I don't think you were going to get a lot of complaints on that.
No. And they try to push the pile, and I think he spun away to the side, luckily. Otherwise, if he'd have gone right up the middle, he wasn't going to get it. But they do get the first down out near midfield. They're going to mark him at the 49.
Well, Gavin Christiansen out there was showing it as a first down. So
we'll just go with him.
And he emphatically showed it as a first down.
Jack Stevens with a quarterback keeper. Like I said, up the middle, it got clogged up, and he was able to spin off to the left side of the line and pick up that first down.
Yeah, now this is the first time we're seeing twins both sides.
Stevens keeps it himself, room to run, breaks through into the secondary, and finally taken down at the 30-yard line. Nice run by Stevens.
Yeah, finally brought down, and he ended up being brought down by number 21, Alex Storms. It was his ankle tackle that finally brought him down. Otherwise, there might have been another several yards, and we're going to get a substitution penalty on Skyline as well.
And yeah, Stevens picks up about 6, about 5 on the play.
Yeah. What they're going to do is they're going to decline this so they can remain it first down on this. Plus, he had 6 yards gain off this, so they'll decline it.
We had that happen once in the last game, too, where it didn't get everybody off. And the only other thing I wondered is, was Green Canyon not set? Do we have a motion penalty, or was it a substitution scenario?
Well, it came in right at the time as the player was running off the field, and the ball had already been hiked.
And it does appear to be a substitution. Too many men on the field for.
Oh, they're going to accept it. So it's repeat first down. My bad.
See, and that's. I think in the last game they actually said the White Hat said declined, but I think he did that mistakenly because they did accept it to keep it first down. Plus, you get the yardage.
See, I thought here they'd go second down, but go with the more.
Go with 6
with the more yardage on it. Yeah.
And that ball knocked down. It was intended for number 22, but it got knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So it'll now be 2nd and 5 after the incomplete pass.
Now Jackson White, senior defensive lineman. Rarely at the 4A level do you see a 180-pound defensive lineman.
He's got some good height and long arms on him out there.
Yep.
Handoff, a little misdirection.
It's all about execution.
That goes to Christiansen again, maybe a couple. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, you know, I like that spread they run, and then Stevens keeping it and running. That looks to be good for them.
A little show of force there from one of the linebackers coming up.
And they have twins, right and left again this time, but they're not spread as wide.
Stevens keeps it himself this time, nowhere to go. Gets swallowed up. The man there, number 50, you talked about him, Jackson White.
Yep. Jackson White, one of those seniors. Not a ton of them on this team, but loss of 2 on the play. Brings up a 4th and 5. This is often go for it range.
Yeah, at the 25-yard line, and they are lined up to go for it. Back to pass. Set up the screen. They got him, but he's going to get stopped. Good defense out there by the Grizzlies.
Well, once again, our man number 50 in on that.
Yeah. Number 1 in there as well. That's Kuchera.
Yeah.
And Kuchera
and White were in on that.
So the defense comes up big and stops Green Canyon. And it'll be a turnover on downs, 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies from the 24-yard line.
Grizzlies take over on their own 24-yard line. 1st and 10. Aiden Merrill from Green Canyon, number 1. He's got a tough assignment in that safety position. He's got to come over and help out with Sadiq.
Ball ends up on the turf, but it bounces right back up to Taggart, and Taggart picks up about 7 yards.
They're putting a lot of miles right now on the legs of Taggart.
Yeah. Use him while he's fresh.
That's right.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
That's right.
Hackey on that last play was back in the gun all by him as lonesome. Now he's got a man back there with him. That's Silverio, I believe. Yeah, and Silverio gets the carry. Abron Silverio out across the 35 for a 1st down.
Yeah, you notice all the linemen for Skyline have sky blue helmets with Navy writing on them, and everybody else has Navy helmets with sky blue writing.
I want those guys to stand out.
That's right.
Well, it makes it easier as a quarterback, too. You know who's not eligible.
Well, well, you also know, too, you got, I mean, you know, it's like the Little League football. You know, you have the X helmet kids.
These guys can't carry the ball.
That's right.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter. They'll switch ends here. As right now, Skyline up 6-0 over Green Canyon. Green Canyon hasn't been able to get anything going on offense. Granted, the offense for Skyline hasn't been phenomenal, but they've done enough here in the first quarter.
Well, your first 2 games already in the books today. Beaver wins by 1 point over Marsh Valley, 21-20. Marsh Valley chose to go for a 2-point conversion right at the very end of the ball game, and that even they were unable to convert on that. That ended that, and then Morgan 20-3 over Sugar. Sugar just really had a hard time getting stuff going in their game tonight. Morgan, the number 1 ranked 3A team in the state of Utah, and of course Green Canyon and Skyline here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Coeur d'Alene versus Lehigh, Utah. Coeur d'Alene 5A in Idaho, Lehigh 6A in Utah, and at 2 p.m. Pocatello and Ogden. And then a 5 p.m. Highland, another 5A school here against another 6A school in Utah, Alta. And then your nightcap tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Your host school, Madison, will take on Bear River from Tremont.
Yeah, the Lehigh Pioneers.
Purple and yellow.
Well, that ball slung out to the intended receiver. Number 3, he finds some more room to run after the catch. That is George Price, junior wide receiver.
And it is weird to see the number 3 without an Ames
attached to it.
Attached to that name, or attached to that number. That was a stronghold for the Ames for a long time.
You're right about that. I've called many games where number 3 was an Ames, and this time it's Price. Hackey in the gun, rolling to his right, man in his face, and threw it over the head of Silverio. Just too much on it.
Yeah, unfortunate as well, because Silverio was open. I mean, he had a lot of green in front of him. And, you know, speaking about games we've done, so you and I have a really fun game later on this season. It is, I almost said Lighthouse Christian. It's not Lighthouse Christian. Grace and Waterford.
Water Springs.
Water Springs, sorry. An 8-man football game. 8-man football. If you have never had a chance to watch 8-man football, it is not uncommon to see scores up in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, the field's a lot more open with 6 less guys.
Yeah.
Here goes Silverio breaking through some tackles. First down, I think, out across the 43-yard line.
He is. That passes the eye test, and that will be a first down. We talked earlier, you know, today about, you know, there was a time when coaches just used that as a stall tactic. Call out the sticks. Call it out. And the chain gang could run on out there, and it was just a waste of time. And I'm glad at every level they put a curb on that.
Yeah, it has moved things along. And in big situations, they are going to pull out and measure, but if it's close, they are. If it's not, they're not.
They go with the eye test.
Down the field, there's Sadiq. Caught it.
Division I level catch from the junior right there. Kenyon Sadiq, fantastic ball player.
And for Peyton Wood, that's going to be a tough single coverage matchup. He's going to need help over there. Sadiq just, I think that Wood, a good athlete in his own right, but Sadiq has just shown over the years we've seen him. Yeah. He's going to go up and get anything that's close.
Well, and Cole Fife, as a safety, is the one that's going to come over most of the time and help with that. And that's a tough assignment as well. Coming over as that safety and making decisions. Do I pull off? Do I go with? It's tough. And what a dead-on pass, too, from Hackey.
Hackey hits number 4. That's not a stat for a complete pass. Only picked up a couple yards, it looks like, so it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, not a stat. One of those seniors on the team. Once again, inside the red zone. The second goal, because they did get down to the 10-yard line. The worst-case scenario of being at the goals.
Yeah.
Or being at goal is at the 10.
At the 10. Far away as you can get and be in 1st and goal. But it's 2nd and goal now from the 8. Silverio in the backfield to the left of Hackey. It'll go to Silveria. He runs to the right, nowhere to go, though. He's going to get tackled at the 10 for a couple-yard loss. So it'll be 3rd and goal now from the 10.
Boy, and if George Price goes wide out again, you get him on a little slant there. That can be a potential touchdown coming from George Price.
You know, and I'm not a head coach, and definitely know Scott Berger, the head coach for Skyline. Yeah, he knows more football than I'll ever even want to know, probably. But there's a lot of room here on the left side of this field.
There is.
And here comes Hackey to that side, but it's a low throw.
It's Taggart.
Taggart.
He did catch it. But
at the 8.
And I think this is at the point where I wouldn't be surprised to go ahead and see the field goal here.
It's 4th and goal now from the 8. And you're right. It looks like the field goal unit might be headed out.
So 2 years ago, both the kickers for Skyline were girls. 2 years ago. And did a very good job. Both of them did. And, of course, last year for Sugar Salem, you had Sunny Benyon. When Crew Clark went down, they pulled her over from the soccer team. And in her only game kicking in the game, she kicked 2 field goals, both over 30 yards, and 3 extra points. So
not bad.
2 for 2 and 3 for 3 on extra points.
Jacob DeMott, the kicker here, number 44, a junior for the Grizzlies, and he's shown that he's got a pretty good leg on him. High snap, but they corral it, and that time he keeps it low, but on the mark, it goes in.
Good.
So DeMott knocks it in, and it's now 9-0. Skyline on top over Green Canyon.
And that's a touchdown and a field goal, not 3 field goals as they missed their 2-point conversion.
Let's step away for a quick break. We're going to thank Teton Toyota. We'll be back here on IdahoSports.com for the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. Don't go anywhere.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
Welcome back. After the scoring drive from the Grizzlies ended up in a field goal, the kickoff takes them back into the end zone for a touchback. And with 8:21 left to go here in the second quarter, Skyline on top 9-0 over Green Canyon.
So hard to find.
What a beautiful evening, Rexburg, Idaho, as we look out to the east side as we're on the west side of the stadium, so we get to see the city as it sits on the hill.
Yeah, the college campus over there, Temple up on the hill, and The fields in the background. Beautiful night.
This carried by 37, Gavin Christiansen, the junior running back, also a linebacker. We are, looks like we're going to call his name a number of times tonight.
Yeah, Christiansen looks to be one of the main running backs, as he'll split out wide this time and leave his quarterback there in the backfield by himself, Stevens. That pass caught.
Yeah, by the tight end.
Kyle Baker, senior for Green Canyon, and that will be enough for a first down out to the 31-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, senior tight end, also a defensive lineman. And, of course, has the body more of a lineman than a tight end, but a great set of hands.
Yeah, good size if you're going to catch it out there as a tight end.
But very good size, particularly for high school tight end, because that's almost a college tight end size.
Christiansen in the backfield now with Stevens in there to block, and they throw it to him again. That's Kyle Baker once again. Picks up about 6 yards.
He keeps a hold of that, and it was it was actually tough to do so as number 28, Chandler Robinson, came up and kind of hit him early. Actually, it was Cortez that came up.
2 wideouts to each side, and then Baker kind of lined up to help with blocking, it looks like. And Stevens keeps it himself, breaks into the secondary and across midfield to the 44-yard line. We've seen that a couple times from Jack Stevens.
Yeah, and they typically do it when they're running twins right, twins left. Is typically when they've done that, and they spread them quite a ways out. It's less tacklers in there, and I'll tell you, if you can get your offensive line to do the job, you can get some yardage out of that.
Man in motion, Stevens pass going down the field. A little bit of a wobbler, hits the back of the defender, and no good. A pretty good defense there.
Yeah, intended for Will Egan.
And on defense there, number 26 for the Grizzlies.
That's
Jorge Cortez, a junior.
Boy, we're reading a lot of juniors' names for Skyline. Both well for them.
So 2nd and 10 here. 6:24 left in the half.
We have not had a lot of penalties in this game.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and spread again.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Jeez.
Stevens
my
took a
goodness.
shot. Number 29, who's not on our
Well,
roster.
it was 28.
28.
Chandler Robinson came up and laid the smack down. And I'll tell you what, to Stevens' credit, he popped back up.
Hello, Mr.
But
Robinson.
it was hurting a little bit.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, the laws of momentum win against that guy right there.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
there's physics played out in its finest.
Stevens back to pass. Now he's got some room to run. He is going to throw down the field. Caught.
Oh, my goodness.
Great
what a
catch. First down.
Excellent catch by Caden Stewart, the junior wide receiver, also a safety, as he pulls it in. Sometimes a broken play like that can end up in some good things happening. It is tough to guard a receiver that long.
Yeah, moving around, you're kind of keeping an eye on the quarterbacks if you need to come up and tackle, and then all of a sudden you look and your guy's running free.
Well, as a defender, you're always a step behind anyway.
That's true.
Because you're guessing. They already know what they're doing, and so it's tough. And the longer it goes, the harder it gets.
Stevens had nowhere to go with that. Tried to make as much as he could out of it, but it's going to be a no gain on the carry.
Alex Cortez comes off the field after being involved in that tackle.
It's going to be very, very difficult to run successful plays if they're slow developing like that.
Yeah. No, you're right on, CJ. It does. You've got to get your plays to develop quickly, because then the longer it goes, if you're not throwing the ball, things do not go in your favor.
Christiansen with the carry that time stopped and dropped just shy of the 15-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and about 7, it looks like.
A lot of Gavin Christiansen tonight, the junior.
Maybe 3rd and 8, actually. So a long 3rd down here.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit more yardage than what they gave him.
Right across the middle, picked off. Double coverage, picked off. And on the return, that's number 5, Ian Galbraith. And Galbraith gets popped late, it looks like.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a face mask.
And that'll tack on some more yards.
Yeah, that was Jack Stevens with the tackle, the quarterback. And gets the penalty to boot, personal foul.
And here comes Galbraith sitting down in the Flava Flav chair. The big high-backed red throne, if you will, down there.
I think it's a tradition that has been started by the University of Miami back 4 years ago. They had the turnover chain.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it inspired a lot of college teams to have something similar to that. But that's actually something that similar to what Boise State does.
That was, they threw right into double coverage, probably not a good decision, and that safety came up, and Galbraith picked it right off.
In Galbraith, and guess what grade he's in?
He's a junior.
He's a junior.
I mean, what else, right?
So 1st and 10 after the turnover and a little bit of extra after the penalty. Silverio makes the first man miss, cuts it back into the inside, and picks up about 3.
I am truly surprised that we have not seen more of Sadiq in this game. At least more attempts to him.
Yeah, they've kept it on the ground quite a bit. Haven't put too many times.
They haven't.
In
He's
the air.
actually done an excellent blocking job out there as well. I mean, he's a pure athlete. That's this is a kid that could be recruited at many schools for numerous positions. Recruit him as an athlete, and then play him where he's best fits inside your program.
3 wideouts to the right. They'll sling it out to Sadiq this time and just get him on the move. They're going to have a holding penalty that's going to negate the first down.
Yep, easiest call so far. I think that was on Nottestad, is who ended up with the hold on that.
So that'll bring it back 10 yards from the 45. So they'll end up on the opposite side of the field, back around their own 45. They'll be 2nd and 13. So, yeah, 2nd and 13 back at their own 45 with 3:33 left to go here in the first half. Couple penalties like that have come against Skyline in this scenario.
Well, I mean, you're backed up a little bit. This is, one of those places where you see an opportunity to involve somebody like Sadiq.
Abron Silverio will be in the backfield with Hackey. Hackey will roll. Now throw back across the middle. Nicely designed play.
Excellent pass, excellent catch. Just short of the first down marker. Yeah, a little shorter than I thought, about 2 yards. But
that's Harrison, Isaac Harrison, another junior on the reception there. Yeah, had everybody moving to our side here and then threw right to the middle of the field where Harrison had sat down and picks up quite a few
yards. It was a great throw on the run, and coming back, it's tough to throw across the body, even tougher to throw back. And he did it.
So 3rd and 2 now for the Grizzlies. George Price in here on the near side in the wide out spot. Silverio has a lead blocker, it looks like, in Sadiq. Silverio follows him, picks up the first down and more all the way out to the 36-yard line. And, you talk about just Sadiq being able to move around. That time he lines up inside as a blocker and springs Silverio for an easy first down.
Well, and there's a kid there in Sadiq who's willing to play the role they give him at any given time. And Silverio, excellent job following his blockers as well, getting where he needs to be. We've seen some of that today. We've also seen some backs that haven't been patient enough to follow their blockers. But in this case, Silverio did a great job.
Spread formation here. Hackey all by his lonesome. Man in his face. Could have easily, they're going to get a late hit because
Taggart on the catch.
So it's complete, and we're going to have a personal foul too. I mean, Hackey got rid of that, and then after he got rid of it, Kyle Baker comes through and puts him to the turf.
Yeah.
And he's going to probably have a discussion with a coach over there about. Yeah, so that'll tack on some extra yards. That'll actually give them 1st and goal inside the 10 after the penalty, roughing the passer. At the 9. 2 minutes left here in the
And I've never
quarter.
been a big one for half the distance. I'm always one that says you exact off how many yards you can with it. If it's a 15-yard penalty and you still have 15 available yards in that field, tack it off.
Yeah, that's right.
I've always felt that way, or it just doesn't hurt enough. That's why you see so many times continued penalties down towards goal lines.
Yeah.
Because it's only half the distance.
Yeah. Taggart on the sweep. Oh, and slid down.
Got bit by the turf monster right there.
He tried to make a cut, and the feet didn't plant. They didn't grab hold.
It didn't look like a slide into second base on a still,
Well, he was safe if that was what it was.
As he went feet first,
Yeah.
I was trying to slide in the base. That kind of sounds familiar to a little meme I saw earlier today.
Oh, yeah? What was that? Oh, yeah. We saw that.
Yeah, it was a baseball player running with a base. And
That's right.
not a second base or first base. We're talking like
A stringed base.
A musical
stringed
base.
The big brother of the cello.
The big brother. I like that.
Second and goal now here with Silverio in the backfield.
The grandpappy of them all.
That's right. Fake to Silverio. Hackey going to the corner. Up for Sadiq, and there you see it. There is Sadiq's athleticism. He just goes upstairs, grabs the ball, and comes down for a touchdown for Skyline.
Yeah, Spencer Gerber just couldn't compete with the athleticism that time. Gerber was with him step for step, but when they left the ground, Sadiq was just in an entirely different atmosphere.
Yeah, Sadiq way up top to pull that down, and that's the nice thing of having Sadiq, Kenyon Sadiq. You can throw it up there on those routes, and you know he's going to go up and probably be the highest jumper going up for it. It's like a game of 500, and he's probably going to win.
Yep.
So 15-0 here, a score with 44 seconds left. It looks like they're going to go to 2 for 2. They have everybody spread out. Silverio in motion. They throw back across the middle. It was intended for Nottestad, but over his head.
Yeah, and I think even when he got in the motion there, he might have even been trying to throw that to George Price, and decided instead to go over to Nottestad because Price fell down because it looked like the arm just kind of juked just a little bit to try to compensate for that. But
so 15-0. Now, two failed two-point conversions by Skyline. And, that's one thing, Coach Berger, they go for two quite a bit, and they have traditionally.
They do.
And thus far, they haven't been successful, but when they are, the points start racking up pretty quick.
Certainly.
Once again, want to thank Teton Auto Group for bringing and being the presenting sponsor of East Idaho Game Night here at the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. Also, your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter and Valley-Wide Cooperative. Huge thanks to them. And, of course, Teton Toyota and Volkswagen. Huge thanks to them and all the support they give the local high school athletics here in eastern Idaho. They do a ton. Little pooch kick taken at the 15. And now room to run on the return. And out near the 40-yard line, out to about the 38-yard line. 1st and 10. And for a second, I thought we might have a flag come out, but nothing.
Both returners on that were going after the ball. They looked like a couple of guys out, the left fielder and the center fielder, going for one. And neither one of them calls the other one off.
Yep.
That's kind of what it looked like. Of course, in that case, you don't have the pads to protect you. In this case, at least if that were to happen, you do have some pads to protect you.
Well, not just that, but the helmets as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you collide head-to-head. It's a little not as bad. Stevens running out of real estate and throws it away.
Yeah, that was a smart move there by Stevens. He's already taken a couple sacks tonight. Go ahead and get rid of that and save it for another down. You'll get some guys that worry too much about their stats, to do that. Stevens just a junior.
Jack Stevens, junior quarterback. Back there with one man in the backfield with him right now. Everybody else kind of spread out. That's Chris Jansen now to his left. And a draw play. Here comes Stevens. putting on some moves and getting awfully close to the first down. Looks like he's going to be
about a yard short max. But I'll tell you what, for Stevens, he went from being within a half a second of being grabbed in the backfield and going down for another sack to a 9-yard gain on the play.
A timeout taken by Green Canyon with about 15 seconds left on the clock here in this first half, and it's been a fairly quick first half.
You know, anytime you don't have a ton of penalties, it's amazing how fast a game goes. Even when it's a passing game, when you know the clock stops on incompletions. But you know, we had a quarter earlier today, a second quarter that lasted at least as long as 3 of the quarters of the next game.
Yeah, to me, it felt like driving from Shiprock, New Mexico, to Gallup, New Mexico. And if you've been to that area, you know what I'm talking about. There is just absolutely nothing but desert in that
In other
area.
words, you better fill your gas tank up before you leave Shiprock.
And you better hope that your car doesn't break down, because if it does, you're in the middle of nowhere, and
nobody else is coming to help.
Not even coyotes could probably stalk you in that area.
Hand off to Chris Jansen.
It's that barren.
It's that bad. It is that bad in that part of New Mexico.
First down on the carry from Chris Jansen across midfield. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 10 seconds left here in the half. Ball is at the 47-yard line, so maybe an opportunity for a shot at 2 at the end zone here.
Yeah, you might have 2 shots if he can get rid of it quick. You know, the problem is everybody's going to be double covered because you have the safeties back there.
Yeah.
And your outside linebackers are dropping back as well.
Stevens going to take off and run. He might get to the out of bounds, and he
did.
does with 4 ticks left on. So he'll have one opportunity here if he opts to throw it deep.
You either got to have a fantastic trick play where you're pitching it back a couple times, or you've got to go to the end zone.
Yeah, because for the like you said, the safeties and things for Skyline, this is all you can tackle them anywhere. Just get them before they get to the end zone.
Yep.
You can let them get to the 1, just tackle them.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty tough to get in here into the end zone easily. With 4 ticks left, they're looking over at the coaching staff. Chris Jansen moves to the right. And they'll throw it short underneath. Horn goes off. He's not going to get there, drug down, and that will end the half. So the excuse me. So the Grizzlies get a couple touchdowns, a field goal, and they're on top 15-0 over Green Canyon. We're going to step away for halftime. We'll come back with a little wrap-up. But we want to thank our sponsors here at IdahoSports.com. It's the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. We'll be back for the second half. Stick around on IdahoSports.com.
For back to school. That's why I got my kids vaccinated for COVID-19, so they can be protected from COVID when they're back in the classroom. Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. The vaccines have been researched and tested. They're safe and they work. Getting vaccinated was quick and easy. You can walk into a pharmacy to get one. We got our COVID-19 vaccine, and I hope everyone will choose to get vaccinated too.
Get a free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you at covidvaccine.idaho.gov.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Ads like this keep popping up. But I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, it was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
We're Valley-wide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Scott here from Teton Honda in Pocatello. Our dealership operates on a no-problem philosophy that's designed to put you in charge of your next vehicle purchase. Prefer to shop online? No problem. Evenings or weekends? No problem. Need a wide range of financing and leasing options? No problem. So whether it's one of our beautiful new Hondas or just a vehicle that's new to you, at Teton Honda, we'll help you find the perfect vehicle for your needs. Experience car buying like never before at Pocatello's only No Problem dealership.
Welcome back to halftime here at Madison High School, Bobcat Stadium, a beautiful stadium here. Only about 3 years old here at Madison, and nice turf field, and it's just been a beautiful day here. A little bit of partly cloudy for a bit, a little bit breezy, but tomorrow's supposed to even be better here in Rexburg, and just a great night for football.
Tomorrow's the ultimate temperature day. No wind to speak of, and 75 degrees. That is perfect fall football weather.
And it's hard for me to believe that football's already here. I mean, summer flies by, but I'm excited that football's here. I mean, we've got this weekend, just on IdahoSports.com, 18 games being broadcast this weekend, including, the 7 that we're going to have here between today and tomorrow for the Rocky Mountain Rumble, the 8-man classic going on over in Middleton that Mr. Kingsbury will be at, and they'll be doing 4 games over there tomorrow, and then, of course, all the other games tonight that are on, and lots of football going on around the state. Everybody kind of kicking off here in the state of Idaho. It's week 1. We had 3 games last weekend is all, but everybody else that's on the move today.
Well, and we have the podcasts that we take for each of the regions. There's six districts essentially in the state of Idaho, and of course I do mine with Brandon Bainey on Tuesdays. Is when we hold those Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. But there is going to be a lot of fodder to talk about after this weekend. A lot of good football.
Yeah, it has been. These games a little bit interesting just because it's, teams that we don't typically see coming out of Utah, and so it's hard to gauge sometimes how they are, how the Idaho teams are actually going to do against their own conferences.
Sure.
Sometimes they're playing larger competition. But a fun exhibition game nonetheless. Both of our Idaho teams have fallen in these early 2 games. Sugar went down 20-3 to a very good Morgan team.
Yeah.
Morgan, Utah, and then Beaver, Utah beat Marsh Valley 21-20 in a very good game.
Yeah,
so.
Excellent game. Comeback game by Marsh Valley.
Yeah, they had a chance to win it. They went for 2 with about 30 seconds left in the ball game, and weren't able to convert that 2-point conversion, and so they lost 20. But I like going for it there on a game, a meaningless game, if you will, a little bit. It's not a conference game. It's not even an in-state game, and so, but a good game nonetheless. Of course, just down the road from us, another Utah team up out at Skyview, Utah, who
last year's 4A state champions in the state of Utah.
And right now, Rigby putting it on them, 28-6 right now.
Yeah, Rigby right now has turned into a real powerhouse in the state of Idaho. Won the state championship 2 years ago, lost it in a tight one last year to Rocky Mountain. In fact, all 3 teams that went to state last year from District 5-6, from the 5As, District 5-6, got eliminated by Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, very good Rocky Mountain team.
Different levels of the playoff. And also Coeur d'Alene, who we're going to see tomorrow morning, got beat by Rocky Mountain as well. And Coeur d'Alene was undefeated going into that game and ranked number 1 in state last year. So, it'll be interesting to see Coeur d'Alene tomorrow. Coeur d'Alene, a 5A school in the state of Idaho. Lehigh, 6A down in Utah. It's had some very good programs there. Coeur d'Alene, as of late, has been a real powerhouse in most sports, and football certainly no exception there. We're looking forward to seeing them. You have to joke though you have to laugh when the Idaho school has to travel double the distance to get down to play another game in Idaho against a team out of state.
Yeah.
And they're traveling, and it's not like Lehigh's that close here. It's clear down in Utah County.
3 hours away.
Yeah, 3.5 hours away. Yeah. And still Coeur d'Alene has to.
Well, it's 8 hours, 8 hours for sure on a bus.
Yeah, no question about it. And not some of the easiest freeway driving all the way either. There's some tight, windy stuff they got to go through as well. But Coeur d'Alene, kudos to them. They always step up. They're willing to take the trips down. They came down last year. In fact, all 3 Coeur d'Alene high schools came down last year for a Christmas basketball tournament. In Idaho Falls. Was hosted at Skyline High School. I had the pleasure of calling those games with Paul Kingsbury. And so, Coeur d'Alene, they are not afraid to step up and do what it takes to get their name out there, to get some recognition, and to play some legitimate competition.
Well, and they've always, of course, played up there they'll go out of state and go play the Washington teams, to get good competition, because they are kind of isolated a little bit up there, a very, very narrow part of the state up there. Yeah. But man, with Rigby, they've got a little bit of a rivalry budding there, and top of the state to the bottom of the state with Rigby. Just over the years, that state championship that Rigby did win 2 years ago, it was up in Moscow.
Played in the Kibbe Dome.
And it was a fantastic game. And some good teams that we'll see and throughout the season, but in this Rocky Mountain Rumble again. So it's fun to see some Coeur d'Alene come down so that we get to see them, because otherwise we wouldn't get to see them in person.
Well, and you got Highland that's also going to face a 6A school in Alta, the Hawks, coming up from down in Draper, Utah, down the south end of the Salt Lake Valley, in case you don't know where that's at. But, Highland, after taking a complete shellacking last year in the Rocky Mountain Rumble by Skyview out of Utah, the same Skyview team that is playing Rigby tonight, Highland is certainly going to be looking for a little bit of redemption, I would imagine, tomorrow. They're a third game on the docket tomorrow. Of course, just to give you an update again, you got Coeur d'Alene Lehigh. That starts at 11 o'clock. At 2 p.m., it's Pocatello versus Ogden. 5 p.m., Highland versus Alta. And your nightcap will be your host, Madison Bobcats. They're going to bring in the Bear River Bears. So we had the Beavers here. We have the Bear River Bears coming in out of Tremont, Utah. This is a true Utah
Utah-Idaho
and Idaho matchup. It's entire Rocky Mountain Rumble. Usually, we oftentimes have a team from Nevada. I've had them from Raymond, Canada, has come all the way down here. Speaking of long trips to get down to a place, I've had them from many other places, and it's fun to have an all Utah-Idaho matchup.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about Madison. Of course, the host school here, we're at Madison High School, Bobcat Stadium, beautiful field. They had a rough year last year. Just won 2 games last year.
No, it was 2 games only that they won, and one of those against Bonneville, who was a winless team last year. And Madison just really struggled to put things together. But, new year brings new hope.
And a new coach. They've got a new head coach.
They got this beautiful facility here, unmatched, at least in the state of Idaho. And I lived in Utah for a long time. I can't think of a high school facility that is anywhere near what this high school facility is. They've got the indoor practice facility as well. It's got a bunch of it's the field house just north of us here that has a whole load of tennis courts, indoor tennis courts, and a half football field in there to practice on, and it's a beautiful school, great community, and a place like Madison doesn't stay down for long.
No, I think there's a lot of optimism. I talked to their athletic director, Shane Proctor, and there's a lot of optimism about their season this year. Some of their skilled players, the new coach coming in, looking for an opportunity to make a good statement tomorrow night and get a opening win for the season and start off on the right foot.
That's right.
And it'll be good for a long. Madison's had some fantastic football teams as well over the years. They have. They were down a little bit, of course, last year, but like you said, they aren't going to stay down long.
Well, and their last year they were in 5A. They took state.
Yep.
In football, an excellent team that year, 2013. 2012, actually. Yeah, 2012. Yeah. The class that would graduate that spring in 2013, but 2012 did a great job.
I actually knew several players on that team. Logan Lee, who was a former defensive end for Utah State.
Yeah.
And Logan Anderson, who was in attendance tonight, who was the quarterback for that team.
That's right. It was a great team. Went undefeated that year. And then hopped down to 4A, hopped. Did they hop down to 4A for a few minutes, or for a couple years, and then back up? I can't remember. There's been so many times it's gone back up, back and forth.
Yeah, and they'll stick up around the 5As now, probably traditionally.
Actually, they were 4A,
and then
that was their
up to 5A.
Bounced up to 5A. That was their first year up at 5A.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because they were in 4A with that big conference, and they were in that 4A conference with Shelley, and Shelley the next year jumped down to 3A, and at the time, then of course they're back up to 4A now. Madison had jumped up to 5A, so they go from being in the same school size, the same conference, to being two divisions
away. Yeah, there have been a lot of movement, but now it looks like things maybe have stabilized a little bit with the schools here in Eastern Idaho as far as classification changes. Skyline sticking right there at the 4A. Idaho Falls
back up to 5A.
And at some point, Skyline's going to move up to 5A. I mean, it'll get to that point. There's been some growth over there on that on the west side of Idaho Falls. So at some point, they're going to hit that 5A size as well.
The east side and out in Ammon and so forth that received so much growth that required a split from Bonneville and Hillcrest that created Thunder Ridge, and that sent Bonneville and Hillcrest, who were 5A, both down to 4A. Yep. And Thunder Ridge came in as a 5A school, and they were the only one, its first year there, until Idaho Falls moved back up to 5A. And, of course, Idaho Falls had won the men's state basketball championship as a 4A team right before moving back up to 5A. But schools in those communities will jump around a bit depending on new schools that are built, and so forth. In the other schools, it's a little different now. You take like a Marsh Valley, that's the smallest 3A in the state of Idaho, and a couple years ago they were petitioning to go down to the 2A division, and that conference at one time, that 3A conference, has lost a number of schools. Soda Springs went down to 2A, Bear Lake went down to 2A, Marsh Valley was petitioning down to 2A, but there's only 3 teams in that conference right now as you look at Marsh Valley, Snake River, and American Falls. And at that same time when they were petitioning to go down to 2A, American Falls was petitioning to go out to move to District 4 at the time, which would have naturally moved Snake River up into District 6 into the Mountain Rivers Conference, but that didn't happen. So both those conferences each remain with 3 teams. As Shelley made the jump up a few years ago to 4A, and so that left District 6 then with Sugar, South, and Teton.
Well, we're just about ready to get going here in the third quarter.
Sun has gone completely down. Not completely down, but
yeah, we have some sun residue.
Sun residue, yes.
I like that.
But now we got the Friday Night Lights going on right now, and I can't tell you how excited I was for today. And second half is underway.
That kick taken at the 1. And room to run. And taken out to the 25. He's finally brought down. That's Caden Stewart on the return.
Caden Stewart, you know, he's carried the ball a couple different times tonight, and I've been impressed each time he has. He's a player that I think we can look to see carry the ball a little bit more here in the second half. He seems to have very good lateral movement as well. You know, there's a lot of guys with good north-south speed, but lateral movement, which is kind of that Barry Sanders type of runner, is a rare thing, and you got to take advantage of that when you have it. You know, you see Barry Sanders, who I still consider the greatest running back of all time, and you know, and in head-on speed, he'd get chased down by a linebacker oftentimes. But it was his side-to-side, his ability to horizontally move.
That's Chris Jansen on the carry, picks up about 4. I think one of my favorite posters ever was of Barry Sanders making a lateral cut, and his upper body is literally parallel with the ground, while his legs are, you know, making his cut with his feet on the ground. And he was just a phenomenal athlete to watch run the ball.
Yeah, as great as an athlete as he was, it was kind of a shame that he was on a franchise that.
Hey, don't say it. Don't say it. I like the Lions.
The struggled.
Struggled.
Yeah, that's putting it very kindly.
Yeah, well, basically.
And they were thrilled about their struggles.
Well, just say that to Bobby Lane.
Yeah.
But that's a story for a different time.
Well, and, of course, where did Barry Sanders play college ball?
I don't know.
Oklahoma State.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
he was a
right.
Cowboy.
Right up the middle. A big pickup that time. That's Stevens again on the carry, Jack Stevens. And he's kind of, I feel like he's been the lead rusher.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's no question. For total yardage, he has. We don't have the exact yardage on him.
Yeah,
but
especially for Green Canyon. Maybe overall in this ball game. First down, Galbraith finally takes him down out at the 43-yard line. There's Chris Jansen finding some room on the outside, pushed out of bounds right at midfield.
Green Canyon does a lot of hurry-up offense. In fact, they caught Skyline early in the game on a substitution penalty as a result of that. Of course, Barry Sanders, we're talking about him, and he finally got passed up by the great Emmitt Smith, you know, Dallas Cowboy. Emmitt Smith was a great player as well.
The funny thing is, like you mentioned Emmitt Smith, I remember Snake River had a player named Emmitt Smith back in the day, right after I graduated high school.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
First time I heard his name by the PA announcer for Sugar before you took over, I heard him say Emmitt Smith, and I was thinking, wait a second. The legend is reborn?
Reborn in purple and gold?
Purple and black, actually.
Oh, yeah, purple and black. That's right. That's right.
Purple and gold, I think you're thinking of someone else.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking of Lehigh. That's Lehigh. Purple and yellow, purple gold. Yeah, purple and black. Snake River, another program that's had a lot of success over the years.
Yes.
More state championships during the 90s for football. 90s and early 2000s. Boy, they were fantastic.
My brother hated playing Skyline.
And what a pass, caught at the 10, touchdown Green Canyon.
When I say Skyline, I meant my brother hated
You
playing
meant Snake River, yeah.
Yeah, he hated playing Snake River in high school because they just beat up on everyone. It was like, when I was in high school, it was Shelley that we always hated playing, because they were so good.
But back then it was Snake River. Well, touchdown caught by Will Egan.
Yeah, what a pitch and catch. And the run before that was great by Chris Jansen as well. They get some points on the board here early in the third quarter. 9:40 left in the third.
Well, and it's got to be a relief for the team and the coaching staff to get those first points up there on the board. And now you got to remember they come in 2-0 on the season. They got 2 wins, but both of those wins were really close games. One of them against Park City. Very good Park City team this year, and also I'm trying to see who their other. Oh, it was Crimson Cliffs that they beat 17-13. Crimson Cliffs out of St. George. That was the new school that split a little bit of Pineview and a little bit of Desert Hills. Split into Crimson Cliffs. And when I was a kid, I grew up in Cedar City as a little kid before moving to Idaho for high school. But Cedar City, the rivalry back then was Cedar-Dixie. Those were the only 2 high schools down there in that area. And, of course, St. George has exploded. Cedar's grown a lot, too. Cedar's around 40,000 people. When I left in 1983 and moved up to Idaho, both towns were around 14,000 people. And now St. George is about 80,000. And Washington County is like 150,000 there.
Yeah.
Cedar City's about 40,000. Cedar's just starting their 3rd high school. And St. George, it went from Dixie to adding Pineview to adding Snow Canyon to adding Desert Hills now to adding Crimson Cliff, so that's grown exponentially down there.
Well, we talk about Green Canyon happy to get some points on the board. They're only down a score in a 2-point conversion. I mean, that first half really lulled us a little bit into things. Skyline, I mean, they were in control, no doubt, in the first half. And so now all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a single-score game here.
That's right. As ball goes out of bounds, it'll come out to the 35-yard line on the penalty. The kick going out of bounds. And we haven't seen the ball thrown a ton to Sadiq, but what we have has been spectacular.
Oh, yeah, the touchdown grab that he made over here is exactly what he does. And it looks like they're actually going to make Green Canyon re-kick.
Well, and the 50-yard pass that he caught down here
That's
on the
true.
10-yard line.
That's a good point.
Set up touchdown number 1. I mean,
Yeah.
he is a special talent. He's not what you'd call an every-year talent.
No, and he's been doing it for a while here at Skyline High School. And, again, just a junior. 6'4", 205. I mean, he's a big kid. He can jump out of the gym or off the turf to the sky if that's what you need him to do. And and at 205, I mean, he's strong. He's a big, he's a big body.
You even consider a kid like that. He's just a junior. You look at a kid like that in the future in the college rank. Could stay, maybe around the 215, 220, 225 range and be a wide receiver. You might even be able to bulk a kid at 6'4" like that up to, 250, 255, and make him a tight end.
It's a little short kick that time. They don't want to kick to the return men for Skyline, probably rightly so.
Nope.
But that one, a short kick taken at the 40, so Skyline gains 5 yards on the exchange.
Taggart and Sadiq are the return men.
Yeah.
And those are two players that have hurt them tremendously today. Put it in the hands of a guy who's going to drop to the turf when he catches it.
Nah, you take what you get.
Yeah, and that's that's part of their game plan, and they're going to stay with it here. Just down a score. Green Canyon here in the third quarter. They scored on their opening drive. Now it's Skyline's turn, and there's Taggart on the run.
Yeah, a holding penalty to start with.
Yep, that'll negate a 9-yard gain from Taggart.
This was a big old jersey grab right in the middle of the field.
And I love watching the linemen turn around and they see the flag on the ground and the heads just come down like,
Still got the guy's jersey in his hand.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I can't imagine how their teammate reacts who had just gained, who had just picked up a good amount of yards.
Well, especially when it was a hold like in that scenario there that didn't affect the play. I mean, it
was going away.
Yeah, it was going away. It still would have been the same amount of yardage pickup, and there's a lot of frustration on that. And the truth is that when it gets down to it, if you slowed everything down and made calls based upon a replay, there'd be holding most every play.
This one out to Price. Price is going to gain some of that yardage back, get back close to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard shy.
You take that lineup again where you have trips left and a single right, and that single right is Sadiq, and that could definitely lead to another deep pass. Almost back to the original line.
Yeah, about a yard shy, it looks like. But 2nd and 11, 9:29 left here in the quarter. Grizzlies with their opening series of the second half. Hackey back to pass. That's going to be short, nearly picked off.
Boy, it wasn't nearly picked off, and I'll tell you what, Sadiq actually came back and saved that from being picked off and almost caught it himself coming back.
Yeah. One of the many moments where the wide receiver turns into a cornerback or a safety.
Yeah. Well, once that ball is thrown to the inside, so now the defender has the inside track on that. Essentially, the defender becomes the legal receiver in that. And so now your pass interference, the way you administer that
shifts the other way.
Shifts the other way. So something to just, consider. Because essentially what you are doing is you're defending the ball. You're not defending a man. You're defending the ball.
3rd and 11. They set up the screen inside for Sadiq, and Sadiq gets wrapped up and buried at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Good open field tackle that time by number 2 and number 9. That's Brody Hammond. And
Tate White. Yeah, that was excellent. They did that against a very good player. Didn't try to take him high, where there's some advantage there, for Sadiq. So take him low, go down, and then wait for your teammates to come and gang tackle on that. Now Sadiq stays in, but this time as a punter instead of a receiver.
Men rushing on for Green Canyon.
And for Green Canyon.
Wow, what a punt by Sadiq.
A good turn of events for Green Canyon this is going to come out 20-yard line. Excellent punt. Ball was already down all the way down on the 40. He caught it back on the 31. So that's a 69-yard.
That was a pretty good punt.
And I'll tell you what, about 59 of that was in the air.
Yeah, it took a bounce at about the 10, like you said, and did end up in the end zone. But, yeah, nice high punt. Granted, again, he got the wind behind him, but that probably carried it maybe another 10 yards.
Yeah.
So, the Green Canyon Wolves, they get a stop. Had much needed stop, and now they got the ball again after scoring on their first drive. They're here at the 20 with 8:45 left in the third quarter, looking for more. And
it's a quarterback draw up the middle. Looked like he only gained about a couple.
Yeah, Stevens, little fake pitch, and then up the middle he goes.
Yeah, and Stevens definitely has the most rushing yards tonight of any of the Wolves from Green Canyon. That's a good mascot for Green Canyon.
The Wolves.
Green Canyon Wolves. I like that, Of course, I've always liked the Wolves mascot. I like the Timberwolves, I like the Silver Wolves, Those are always mascots I've really liked. And they don't seem to break any political correctness boundaries,
Except for all the farm ranchers that hate wolves.
Yeah. Well, they didn't call them like the cow killers or anything like that.
Yeah, that might be
the cattle killers.
The cattle killers.
Ooh, that would be a pretty good mascot, the cattle killers. So best mascots in Idaho. What do you got? What do you think?
That's the Pilgrims, of course.
Pilgrims is good. Maniacs, my all-time favorite.
Yeah, the Maniacs is pretty good.
Dragons is a good one out of Malad, where I was. Dragons is pretty unique. And that came around by some wrong uniforms getting sent.
That's interesting.
Oh, wow, what a catch.
Yeah.
And looked like he was interfered with.
Yeah, I think this might be pass interference. So once again, this goes down to Caden Stewart.
And it looks like Skyline's directing it, saying that it's going to be offensive interference.
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't see it well enough, but I don't think so. There's no way. If they call this offensive pass interference, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I would be very shocked.
I mean, he was out there with 3 defenders, and you're going to call it against him?
Yeah, and I didn't see him push off.
I didn't see much of a push off. Oh, it's going against Skyline.
Yeah.
So Malad High School, up until the late 1930s, they'd never had a mascot. Okay. And they ordered some uniforms, some basketball uniforms for the men's basketball team, and they were sent the wrong uniforms by whatever company made them, and it had a dragon on them. So in 1941, when they finally decided to get a mascot, they voted on it, and they decided to keep the Dragons. So they became the Malad Dragons.
That's awesome. Well, a great play puts Green Canyon down just outside the red zone here with 7:48 to play. A timeout being called by Skyline as Green Canyon, they're on their way to tie this thing up.
They got a touchdown. They got a stop. And now a big pass.
Yeah.
Skyline burns their first time out of the half. Neither team has, pushed the timeout boundaries. Oftentimes you see teams that have to blow a couple timeouts early on, and neither team has done this.
The other, talking to mascots, we got a brand new high school, a Waihe High School, and they're the Storm. The Waihe Storm.
And speaking of mascots, Pocatello had their mascot changed to the Thunder.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Waihe High School, they were the Indians. Now
they've got a bison as their mascot, which is pretty cool.
And
that is pretty cool.
And the mascot was actually designed by a graphic design student from BYU, Idaho.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. That is good to know.
So, some changes that way. Several schools having changed mascots. Teton High School having changed their mascot recently.
Timberwolves now.
Which is a great mascot for them as well.
It is, and it's kind of cool. They were able to take the Tetons, the line of the Tetons, and that's the scruff on the Timberwolf. Yeah, which is kind of cool, and You know, a lot of these schools, there's a lot of controversy in the changing of a number of these names, but they've ended up doing it. You know, Cedar City High School down in Utah, just south of Beaver, those areas, they were the Redmen for years, and now they're the Reds. That was an easier switch for them because red was one of their colors, you know, as opposed to Teton where orange and maroon was your color.
And
broke the play right
yeah,
there.
He tried to dump it off, Stevens did, at the last minute, and it got knocked down. But
yeah, they were looking for a penalty for a late hit, these Skyline coaches were, and they could have justified it.
you know, the other one that was easy in the state of Idaho to make a change was Boise. They went from the Braves to
the Brave.
Yeah. Boise Brave.
Yeah, they went from they went to a verb.
Yeah,
They went to a
exactly.
verb.
Yeah, from the noun to a verb.
And actually, you talk about mascot changes. Like my first choice for Teton initially was the Mountaineers,
which would have been great too.
What a catch! No,
Wow.
it hit the turf.
Yeah, it did. It looked like it might have, but I wasn't sure. But I'll tell you what a fantastic, which would have been the second great catch in this series by number 6, Caden Stewart, the junior. And you know, you look at all the juniors that Green Canyon has. We've talked about it with Skyline. You look at all the juniors that Green Canyon has and think of what they're bringing back to the field next year as well.
I got a flag back here at the 24-yard line. We're not sure yet what it is, but personal foul.
Ooh.
Well, that's the call that Skyline wanted to play before.
Previous, yeah.
And
Well,
they
better
got it
late
this
than
time.
never.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, except for the hit.
Yeah.
Well, not that. Well, I mean, well, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, for the player, if you're looking to make a point, it's not better late than never, or it's better late than never. But from a
But like late hit, I mean that's not better. That's never.
No, it doesn't work out in your benefit unless you just happen to have every official with their head turned the other way.
Yeah. Third down, and now 26 to go after the penalty. So a costly penalty.
Yeah, boy, they were in scoring position.
And Stevens.
We're going to get another hold.
Yeah, running around, and there's a block that laid down. And there, that's not.
I
that's
do not
a
like
penalty.
that.
That is not a penalty.
See, they're getting him for a blindside block. That was not a blindside block.
No,
Players were both squared.
Yep.
They were both squared.
And he turns into him. What's he supposed to do? Get out of his way?
Yeah, he could have hit him.
Yeah.
5 times harder.
Oh
than
yeah,
did.
he
I do not
he
like
put him
that
to the
call.
ground, but it wasn't vicious. That second flag I don't like at all. I disagree with that second flag 100%. There was definitely, I think, a holding back here that's going to go against Green Canyon, but that second flag should be picked up.
Yeah, because that's 10-yarder, so they decline it. The personal foul penalty is 15 yards, and I do not like that call. I absolutely do not like that call. Players were squared on each other. It was a good football hit, and an official just took them out of it with that. Now, it's only 5 yards worse than they would have been, but I do not like that call.
And I don't know the verbiage on that rule, but I don't like it in that scenario. Those are designed like crackback blocks. That's what that blindside block is designed to prevent. Guys running across the field at full speed and just nailing somebody. That was not that scenario.
Nope, it was not.
It kind of reminds me of Wisconsin and Nebraska in the Big Ten championship years ago.
There, Stevens avoids a sack, dumps it off.
Well, if we've learned nothing, we've learned that Stevens can run.
Oh, there's another flag.
And this is going to be on the coach, personal foul.
Yep. He, unsportsmanlike. He wanted some sort of late hit.
Yeah.
I don't think there was there either, but I understand his frustration because of the previous flag on what they called a crackback block or a blindside block.
Yeah, I don't blame him for being upset about that.
Well, so you go from, your first down and 10 from the 23, and your ding there on the other side's 23.
I was just pointing at where the sticks are now. Wait. Yeah, now we're third down and holy crap, a long ways away. They've got to get to the 13.
Well, it's not as bad as
They're
third
at their
down
own
and
30.
93.
No, it's not third and 93.
Not like that Louisiana Tech blunt. But the thing is, the reason why that became third and 93 is because it was a high snap and Mississippi State players and Louisiana Tech players couldn't pick the ball up.
But it's 3rd and 57, which is not a good, or 4th and 57, excuse me.
Yeah, you better punt here.
Is that a loss of down? I guess it is because it was
is,
a dead
yep.
ball. So
Yep. Well, and it was on the bench.
Yeah.
So with 4th and 58, I'll tell you what, if he can get it back to the original line of scrimmage, that is one heck of a punt. That is one heck of a punt. And you know, unfortunately for Green Canyon, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, we're joking a little bit and stuff, and unfortunately for them, heck, they had a good score,
Yeah,
they had a stop, they were in great
Close
scoring
to the red
position
zone.
again. High snap.
Luckily, Skyline didn't really come after it. Short kick, and Sadiq wisely gets away from it, and it'll go out of bounds.
You know, that's about as good a scenario as Green Canyon could get out of that. He goes down just inside the 35-yard line at 34, and at least you got to make Skyline use up a lot of field to score a touchdown, because after that penalty field possession, that was a really tough scenario for them. And especially there was a couple calls that I didn't really agree with on that, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know the verbiage of that blindside block. Maybe that's part of it. You know, maybe that's inclusive in that language, but of that rule. But that's a different scenario than you really usually see it. That didn't look like a safety scenario to me.
Well, and it seems like years since Skyline has had the ball.
Yeah.
They are with Taggart picking up 3 yards.
And he got popped at the end of that.
5 yards, actually.
A little slow to get up. He got nailed at the end of that play, and he was slow to get off the turf.
Yeah, he's coming off now. And it's even the correct side. You have to look at it, make sure they're going the right side. Kind of like a boxer who goes to the wrong corner after.
What are you doing?
After he gets smacked around a little bit.
Yeah. If he suffers a concussion-like symptoms.
Yeah.
So, a lot of excitement here, and we're still 6:50 left here in the third quarter.
Or like Lauren trying to find the bathroom in the middle of the night, you know.
Yeah. Fall down the stairs.
I don't think I want to know that story.
Silverio wrapped up in the background. He's going to be dropped for a loss. And, you know, if one thing, I think this has got Green Canyon pretty fired up.
It does. Green Canyon, that time it was actually number 64 for Green Canyon. They have 2 of them. We don't know if it was Nathan Turner or Jackson Jensen. I'll assume it's Nathan Turner since he's a senior and Jackson's a freshman. But what an excellent job grabbing right on. And grabbed onto to a runner who's got a lot of yards on them tonight.
Yeah. So it's 3rd and long now here. It's 3rd and 7. 6:02 left, and Green Canyon, they're ready to get this football back. They can get a stop here, they'll be on their way.
Our skyline starting to darken a little bit. Well-lit field here in Rexburg.
Rolling is Hackey. He's got some room. Now he throws. Well, overthrows Sadiq, though, and that'll be 4th and 7 now.
And the Green
Sadiq
side
rolled
of the
his
field
ankle
is
a little bit
fired up.
right there towards the end. You can see it.
Tweaked it just a bit.
Yeah, he'll be okay. I'll tell you, the blocking was excellent that time. In fact, coming back and giving the block for Hackey, I believe, was George Price. Took on a bigger lineman in order to give Hackey the room.
I thought Hackey maybe had a little more room to run than when he let go of that football, but I can't hear what the chant is down there, but nonetheless, they're going to have to punt away. Different punter in there now for Skyline.
Yeah, as it has been Sadiq.
Yeah.
Had an excellent punt last time.
A good punt there, though, too.
Yeah.
Fair catch called for and caught at the 25.
Well, a good thing they called for that fair catch, because if that ball would have hit the turf, that would have done another bounce towards the end zone. That was a textbook punt.
Or if Stewart would have tried to advance that, he would have got obliterated, because there was about 4 guys down there that were ready to take him down.
Well, you get those punts that are perfect spiral, and then the top is pointing forward. So that hits the ground with that bottom back just a little bit. Boy, that gives some excellent bounce.
Yeah, I don't know. They're chanting something down there.
That's probably one of those Utah State chants.
Handoff to Christiansen. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage with forward progress, and that's it. Will be 2nd and 10.
Boy, this is the one quarter that has rivaled the length of the quarter we saw between Beaver and Marsh Valley in their second quarter. This is, of course, the third.
Well, you got the offensive team going the wrong direction on that last. And it's the Green Canyon student section over there. They got a big student section over there that came for the game.
Yeah, they do.
Well, then again, it's not that far of a drive.
No, it's not. However, considering it's not that far of a drive, we really had our best visiting contingencies from Beaver and also from Morgan, you know. Beaver's way down in southern Utah. Morgan, of course, just up Ogden Canyon a little bit. But, Logan, the Logan area, Cache Valley area, not too far from here, about an hour and a half. Not bad.
Probably like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe more like 2.
Tell you what, Trey Olson for Skyline right there wrapped up a receiver and kept him. That was a great hit by Olson. It's 3rd and 10 now here for Green Canyon. As they check their wristbands.
I formation in the back. Twins left, single right. Now they're out of the I formation.
Little confusion.
And they're going to call a timeout, looks like.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah, there was some confusion. They could not figure out what play they were supposed to be in.
Well, the back judge was already in his 5-second count, so he was just starting the 5-second count. This is Taggart again. Taggart takes it. He finally gets taken down, and after that loss of yardage last time, he's able to bring it back to where it's going to be a 2nd and 14. Pardon me, 2nd and 13. It's actually going to, I was incorrect on both of those. It's 3rd and 13. How about that? As the play comes in off the sideline, that from Sadiq. Comes into Hackey. Sadiq will stay far right. And Sadiq is one that when it comes to this particular play here, he could find himself out on an island, particularly with a crossing route from the inside receiver. And it's Sadiq right down the middle, right on target, and catches it. Wow.
Would have been even more impressive if that was a one-handed catch. And Skyline's coach is telling them to hurry up.
Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq, and I think really, you know, they want to get Green Canyon on their heels. Both these teams like the hurry-up offense. Green Canyon, he's used it tonight as well, but I think you want to see Skyline here. Skyline wants to see Green Canyon back on their heels. Taggart again. Taggart to the outside. The tackle knocks him forward just a little bit. Picks up 3 yards on the play, a little more than it looked like he was going to get. And I think in a hurry-up offense like this, you're going to see him pop back to Sadiq again, take advantage of some of those matchups.
10:30 just underway here in the 4th.
Yeah, no hurry-up offense this time as Hackey came out to get the play call on the sideline.
2nd and 7 as Skyline driving here inside the 40. Man in motion, Silverio. They get it out to Sadiq, and
Great
he's got
block
room to run.
by Silverio. Silverio gave a textbook. I'll tell you what, that was a next level block that Silverio gave out there. And that's being a teammate, you know. It's always nice to get the glory of the run, you know, and all that. But when you can open up a teammate like you did, and it's payback because Sadiq has done that for him tonight. Done an excellent job.
Yeah, and a first down picked up by Sadiq because of it. And the drive continues, and down to the 26-yard line now are the Grizzlies. Hackey back in the gun with Silverio behind him to the left. Man in motion's Taggart. It goes to Silverio up the middle, and he picks up about 5.
Well, I fell victim to the camera guy getting faked out, unfortunately.
That happens.
Yeah.
Well, it happens more often in college football, but the problem is, I mean, since this is only like statewide, it's not on national TV.
Well, this is worldwide, though. You know?
It is
worldwide.
worldwide.
Have people watching from, you know, it's amazing. You know, we don't have our shout-out box up tonight, but it's amazing the shout-out box is how all of a sudden we'll get something. It'll be like grandma and grandpa in Australia watching in the middle of the night, you know, or on a mission or things like that, especially at state tournaments, you know.
What a throw to Taggart from Hackey.
Boy, talk about threading the needle.
Just a beautiful a great catch. Honestly, that ball was moving for Taggart to snap that out of the air.
It was a bullet.
Yeah,
that's
first
for sure.
first and goal from the 6.5-yard mark, and I'll tell you, for Skyline, if the goal was to get Green Canyon on their heels this possession, so far so good.
Well, and that's the best throw of the evening from Hackey that I've seen. I mean, he put some mustard on that one.
That's a college level throw for sure.
It is.
And that one goes to Taggart again around the end. Tries to cut back in the middle. Nice open field tackle. Drops him at the 8.
And it was a good block out by the defensive end that got him out around that corner. In fact, it got him past, I believe it was number 4, Spencer Gerber. Caden Stewart was also out there as well. But then blocks him. His receivers didn't come on the outside like they should have. They got caught standing a little bit.
So it is 2nd and goal from the 8.
Now, that was a designed play. And that's to open up this right side of the field, and I would not be surprised to see another jump ball thrown up to Sadiq in the corner.
Yeah, he's single coverage right now.
Snap.
Comes back to the middle, knocked down. Nice play by the linebacker there, number 7. That's, I'm going to think, Peyton Johnson to knock that down, as Sadiq was open, but Johnson made a good play on the ball.
And even more open was Ethan Notestad, the senior, running across the back part of the end zone, wide open.
I think that might have been the first senior that has been mentioned tonight, since most of the players on Skyline's roster are juniors.
Yeah. Most of them that are getting a lot of playing time are, of course, Kuchera. Kuchera. We talked about him. He's a senior. And you do get quite a number of linemen out there. Some of your bigger linemen have had that extra year to put some weight on. But, yeah, you hit it, CJ. We just have not seen that a lot.
Great open field tackle.
That was a great tackle.
By number 2 for Green Canyon. That's Brody Hammond. We've called his name a couple of times. And if he doesn't make that tackle, Taggart's going in.
That's right. And that's another junior again right there. So we're going to come in. You come in and you get out this field goal, and it makes it a true 2 full score possession.
And that's what they're going to go for here. Number 44 in there for Skyline.
And you have to think
DeMott.
that if you're Green Canyon, you might want to think that Skyline could possibly fake this, so they got to be careful.
Yeah. Ian Galbraith, of course, who had the great interception earlier in this game, is holding the ball down.
Ooh,
and
they got to it. It's off. They got to it.
Yeah, I don't think that was hooked. I think that was blocked.
Nice job by Green Canyon. Number 20 and number 4 getting in there on that was Cordell Coates as well as Spencer Gerber, and they came in, blocked that. It went out of the back of the end zone, so a great defensive stand by Green Canyon.
You know, and if you're Green Canyon, you look at this and you say, hey, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion ties this game up, and here they have the ball, and it's really been their defense that has set up so much of their offense in this second half, down 15-0 at the halftime break.
14 hamburgers left, Lance. 12 of them are yours. They got your name on them.
I would gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Oh my gosh, I remember
Popeye.
I remember a father-son outing back in the day. It was Chris Blaser. He was a second cousin of mine. He had 12 hamburgers in one sitting.
Gross.
and here's the thing, though. I mean, he's not a big guy like a bodybuilder. I mean, that guy was you probably couldn't tell a grain of rice apart from him.
Well, and why do they call them hamburgers? They're not made of ham.
They're made of cow. I mean, they got to be
made
called
of beef.
cow burgers.
That's right. Or
hamburger.
Who came up
beef
with
burger.
I would like to have a hamburger.
Hamburger.
Who came up with that name, right?
Hamburger. I like to have a hamburger. That was a great show.
That was a good show.
Pink Panther.
Yep.
Steve Martin. The great Steve Martin. Former Saturday Night Live.
Keeper up the middle. It's still on his feet now.
That's Caden Stewart, and I'll tell you what, that right there, no, excuse me, that wasn't Caden Stewart.
That's quarterback.
Yeah, it was
Stevens.
It was Stevens on that, but that is exactly what happens when you don't wrap up when a guy runs. They went in and they thought, just doing a good old, body hit, kind of a hockey shiver was going to take care of it, and it just didn't. He spun off of it.
And we got a Skyline player down on the turf in a heap, and
That's Alex Cortez.
Yeah, 6:34 remaining on the clock here from Rexburg, Idaho. Again, it's a beautiful facility, unmatched from what I've ever seen in a high school facility, at least in the surrounding states here. This is just beautiful. It's big, it's beautiful. 3 games out of the way. Might as well look at the other games again for tomorrow. 11 a.m., what do we got? Coeur d'Alene and Lehigh. That's been one of 2 games that really was receiving a lot of chatter before the Rocky Mountain Rumble. Pocatello and Ogden. That game will take place at 2 p.m. At 5 p.m., Highland and Alta. And then, of course, your nightcap, Madison versus Bear River.
Nothing. I got nothing. 6:34 left. Nothing that I should say out loud anyways.
You can say it. You are more than welcome to say it.
No.
Alex Cortez able to walk off the field under his own power, a little gingerly, but
always a good sign, isn't it?
yeah, could have possibly have been a cramp of some kind.
And Jackson keeps it himself again, and look at him getting wrangled there. Gets to the 30. He might have.
He might. Boy, that looked like a bulldog in the in the rodeo, you know. Like someone dropped off their horse and
wow, he got it too. They're giving it to him.
I'll tell you what, and that was all him that time too. Oftentimes your blockers are the ones that open that up for you. That time he got grabbed and he just kept going. Keep moving those feet. That's football 101 when you're a kid. Keep moving your feet.
6 minutes left here in this ball game as Green Canyon trying to put together a drive to potentially tie this thing up.
Another football 101 thing is always make sure that you're doing a pretty good amount of squats in the weight room.
That's right.
Especially if you're a running back, like Nick Chubb. Some of the workouts I've seen him do, yikes.
Chris Jansen with the carry there. Picks up good, almost 9 yards actually after they mark it there. So nice carry there on the pitch from Chris Jansen. And 5:45 left as he got out of bounds. 2nd and 1 here for Green Canyon. And Green Canyon has, Skyline controlled that first half. Green Canyon has controlled the second half.
Yeah,
here.
they certainly have. And Green Canyon, has got to feel good about the position they're in right now with 5.5 left in the ball game.
Down the field he goes. Incomplete. It was intended for number 22 for Green Canyon, Will Egan.
Yeah, and of course, Will caught their only touchdown pass. And he had another long pass down here in the corner. But I think one of the things that hurt Egan in that pass, he could have kept up with the ball in that. But what he kept doing was jostling for position a little bit. And to do that, he kind of kept pushing backwards on the defender. And I think it lost him a few steps.
Right up at the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 1. And this is where you fake, I think, the sneak and run around the outside.
Oh, Skyline close to jumping off sides right there.
They were. And, of course, in high school, you can't get back. If you go off, you're off.
That's quarterback sneak.
They got it.
Yep, he got it. No matter what side judge you go with, he got it.
Cross the 40 for a first down, and the clock will stop.
I should note both teams have 2 timeouts remaining, so 4 total in the ball game. This has not been as penalty plagued in the 4th as we had in the 3rd quarter. Of course, they threw so many penalty flags in the 2nd quarter of our first game today. I think they had to get new flags. They were probably worn out and ragged by the time they were done.
Jackson on the carry. It's Stevens. Jack Stevens, not Steven Jackson.
That's right. Steven Jackson, of course, the one that got in the big brawl for Indiana against Detroit back in the day in the Palace.
Yeah, the Malice
the
old
Palace. Palace of Auburn Hills.
And here's the funny thing about that. So after they got into the locker room, Ron Artest was calmed down, and after he calmed down, the first question to Steven Jackson, do you think we're going to get in trouble?
Yeah, I think that got answered long before that thing was ever over.
Down the field, gets his receiver. Great catch. First down into Skyline territory.
Caden
Stewart.
Wow.
He's made some big catches.
I'll tell you what, Green Canyon is doing everything they can to try to win a ball game tonight, and they're taking advantage of the opportunities. And right now, you got Jack Stevens that is doing everything he can get the ball across the middle, get it open, and he's doing it with his legs and with his arm.
Stevens wanted to go down the sideline. Now he might have to throw it away. Gets it away and off fingertips, thrown out of bounds.
Oh, man, he was very fortunate he got that pass off.
Yeah, he was. He almost got taken down for a loss, and it would have been a significant loss had it have happened. And he was able to get rid of the ball.
Now, going back to that little question about Ron Artest asking Steven Jackson if they were going to get in trouble, Steven Jackson was like, "Are you serious? Trouble? I mean, we'll be lucky if we have a job after this."
Yeah, and they didn't for most of the rest of the year.
Well,
and that ball goes incomplete. Chris Jansen can't draw it in.
Well, Artest actually got suspended for the rest of the year, and
That's
Steven
right.
Jackson was only suspended for 30 games.
That's right, but it was without pay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
which
like
certainly
lost,
hurts.
I think $3 million.
Yeah, and he was never the same after that. You know,
Well, Artest was never the same.
Yeah,
after that
I don't think either player really played the same after that. You know, and
Ben Wallace especially.
Yeah, Ben Wallace.
But the thing about
down. Sorry, the down marker over across the way, they had it marked as fourth, but it's actually third down, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Third
believe
and 10,
it's
yeah.
fourth. I thought it was fourth.
No, it's
okay.
It's 3rd and 10. No, it's not fourth down. It's third down. It's third down.
So with the 3rd and 10,
they have fourth on the scoreboard, but it's not. It's third down.
and all the Skyline fans stomping their feet.
They sling it out. It's caught. And he's going to get it.
Oh, yeah, he got it by about 6 yards or more.
Nice play there again. Who else but Caden Stewart? He's been the go-to man here in the fourth quarter for sure.
Yeah,
junior to junior there.
There was no one within 5 yards of him.
No.
So it's 1st and 10 now at the 25 with the clock clicking down under 5 minutes.
Right now, Green Canyon is running the better routes. They're just flat out running the better routes, and their offensive line is doing a great job.
Back to pass, in trouble.
Just as I say that, they got through.
No chance. No chance at all in that play.
Well, the blitz came up outside from Isaac Farnsworth, a senior. He's a linebacker, and it came up, and they just didn't have enough linemen to pick him up. The rest of the linemen were all occupied when he got through the middle and took Stevens down.
So the ball back at the 30, a loss of 5 after the sack. 2nd and 15, 4 minutes left here in the ball game now. Good protection this time. Across the middle, but too low and too far out in front.
Boy, it had his receiver right there.
He had him.
Man, that was close.
Intended receiver, I think that's Will Egan.
Yeah,
again.
it is Will Egan, the senior. And Egan's had some spectacular catches tonight, and that would have been right up there with the best of them had he been able to pull that in.
Yeah, they had him. He been able to hit him in stride. Jack Stevens been able to hit him in stride. He had an opportunity to find the end zone as well. 3rd and 15 now, a big play. Rolling to his right. In trouble, gets it away. Picks up yardage. Caden Stewart, he's going to be short, but only about 4 yards.
Pass is complete. I'm thinking with 3:50 on the clock that they're definitely going to go for it here.
Yeah, it's that pass right there makes it a more manageable 4th down.
It does. Much more manageable 4th down. And remember, they're only a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, away from tying this game up.
Ball sits at the 19. They've got to get over the 15, so 4th and 4.
And if they don't get it, Skyline's got a long ways to go.
4th and 4, 3.5 minutes, 3:15 actually on the clock now. Back to pass, gets riveted across the middle, caught. What a catch as he's upended, 1st and goal, and it's the big tight end.
Yep, it is.
Kyle Baker with the biggest catch of the game thus far, especially for him, and he flexes a little bit at the hip.
So now 1st and goal from the 8-yard line, and Green Canyon is answering the challenge here, and so far Skyline during this possession has been unable to make the necessary adjustments to kind of figure out this riddle that is Green Canyon.
And you kind of got to think that there's a lot of nervous stomachs in the stadium right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank goodness it's not us.
1st and goal. They've still got 4th and goal on the yardstick over there.
I mean, my stomach's rumbling, but not because of the game. It's rumbling because of lack of food.
They were going to
overthrow
Kyle Walker again, and they overthrew him.
And the only reason that wasn't a pass interference is because it was an overthrow. Otherwise, you get a pass interference
and
call.
Not only that, but it was also too high as well. I mean, there was no chance.
Yeah.
I mean, the only chance he would have been able to catch that if he was Yao Ming's height.
Yeah, or maybe if he was Kenyon Sadiq, I could have gone off after.
2:35, second and goal now as Green Canyon trails. Handoff up the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown untouched. Christiansen into the end zone, and we're a 2-point conversion away from a tie ball game.
Wow.
And you kind of got to think that Skyline's probably thinking, oh, man, they left too much time on the board right here. There's still plenty of time, even if Green Canyon ties the game right here.
Well, yeah, I mean, advantage right now is Skyline. You know, just because of the time and where it's going to get. But I'll tell you what, they make it very, very interesting by getting a 2-point conversion here.
Back to pass, hit as he throws, and no chance. That ball went way over.
Yeah, once again, that was our big number 50, or shouldn't say big, but Jackson White, 6'2", 180-pound defensive lineman, got in there, kind of an undersized defensive lineman, got in there, made the hit.
And on big number 55 for Green Canyon there, his helmet ended up on the ground, Bryce Radford, and he's looking at the official like, hey, I didn't just take this off myself. How do you think my helmet got ripped off? And he might have a good point there.
He very well might.
Maybe some illegal hands to the face from those defensive linemen.
So now I'm expecting an onside kick at this point. Even with 2 timeouts left, I think with 2.5 minutes to go on the clock, I think you've got to take that chance right here.
Or just squib kick it and not give any of Skyline's return man any chance at a good run back.
But with 2:30 left, you can't give up a first down.
No,
I mean,
no.
If you do, the game's over.
That's right. I mean, you do have a couple timeouts. You might be able to give up 1 first down, but after that, it's going to be pretty tough, to be able to compete for the victory anyway. With another timeout, with another first down.
Field goal would win it for Green Canyon if they can get the ball back.
Well, I think Green Canyon has established they've got a very good football team. Of course, they're 2-0 coming into this game, and every game they've played has been tight. They have not had an easy win, and certainly not being undefeated. They haven't been blown out either, but their games are going to be.
And you kind of hope that a lot of their fans are probably going to tell these kids in the future, you really got to stop giving us heart attacks.
Yeah, well. They're 2-0 with a combined total spread of 6 points.
And it's Taggart on the return. He gets dropped down at the 36, 37-yard line. So 2:27 is what is left on the clock, and that's how much time Green Canyon has here to try to get another stop, get the ball back.
Well, this is a very good position for Skyline as well because you're not close to being backed up against your end zone. And so basically, you can afford to take a couple little risks here as well, a couple chances. You've got to think that it's going to come down to the guessing game for Green Canyon because, so far Skyline has hurt you with the pass and with the run. So what do you give up here to do it? Do you try to get into the backfield quick and leave somebody on an island, out deep with the receiver?
I would think that Skyline will try to keep it on the ground just to keep the clock moving. They hand it off to Taggart. He gets dropped in the backfield, though, and that was awfully close to getting hit when the ball was being handed off.
Well, and with 2 timeouts remaining for Green Canyon, the other thing you got to look at too is if your Skyline is to say, well, do we just want to run it too? This is the way I've always felt. Don't stop doing what's working for you. Continue doing the things that were working that got you the lead.
Clock's now under 2 minutes.
And Green Canyon is not calling their second timeout.
Not yet. I think they'll call it after this play. Yeah.
Hackey's all by himself in the backfield.
Yeah, but Skyline's got. Green.
Well, we got twins left, trips right. Now 4 right with man in motion.
They sling it out to Sadiq, and he's got room to run. And he makes one man miss, picks up a first down, and that might be the ball game. And they overloaded that one side. Green Canyon was slow to get more guys over there, and it ended up in a first down for Kenyon Sadiq and the Skyline Grizzlies, and that'll probably do it. 1:33 on the clock. They've got to run a couple plays.
And Sadiq kind of felt the hit was a little dirty, a little late, so he kind of headed after the player. One of the assistant coaches quickly
ushered him away
to let him know that, hey, let's not do that. Let's just leave it as it is.
It's not worth hurting
You're okay.
It's not worth hurting our team.
The ball's at the 49, 1st and 10 with just a minute 33.
Sadiq came out a little bit earlier with that little ankle tweak that he had, but I don't see any additional tape.
Silverio makes some guys miss, then gets stood up about a yard after the line of scrimmage. Never does go down. See, those are the plays I like. If I was a football player.
You've got to see the timeout now.
Yeah, timeout called. Minute 27 left. But if I'm Silverio, that's the ones I like where I don't actually have to hit the ground on the tackle. Just stand me up, stop my progression, and then blow the whistle.
Very much so.
So a timeout taken here. We're going to step away with thank Teton Volkswagen once more. We'll be back here for the final minute 30 of the fourth quarter here on IdahoSports.com.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
We're back. It's a little bit of a blowout up just south of us, 43-6, Rigby over Skyview. Sadiq with the catch. He's going to get stood up. Nowhere to go.
And did he get forced out of bounds is the thing.
They're going to say they stopped his progression
while he was inbounds. Yeah, so it's still going to go. So they're going to call their second and final timeout. Third and final timeout, pardon me. Second of the two they had remaining.
So a minute 20 left, and it's now should be third. Is it third down now? Yes, 3rd and 9. With a minute 20 left, so they really do need to get a stop here. They don't have a timeout left, so they cannot give up a first down, otherwise game's over. But, yeah, just to the south of us in Rigby, the Rigby Trojans all over Skyview of Utah.
Yes.
43-6 with 4 minutes left in the ball game. Here we've got a good one still, a minute 20 left. If Green Canyon can get a stop here, they'll get the ball back probably with well under a minute left. It'll probably be closer, just under a minute, 55 seconds or so I would assume left. And
beautiful facility here, Madison High School. You almost can't say it enough. It's a dedicated football facility as the track is built over on the east side. Most high schools, the track sits around the football field as well.
As a dedicated football and football.
Yeah, and football.
Yeah.
And going back to Rigby, a couple years ago before they went to state up in the Kibbe Dome, I remember being in the Hart building at some point, and they were out on the field practicing, preparing to play on turf.
Yeah, in Rexburg, yep.
So here we go. It's 3rd and 8. This could be the ball game. Silverio in the back field with Hackey. Well, broken. Hackey's in trouble. He gets sacked back at the 43-yard line. That was a little bit awkward, that play. I'm not sure what happened or what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, and they're just going to let this time continue to run off the clock. But I'll tell you what, Green Canyon's going to get it back.
Yeah, you're going to have about 40 seconds here when they're going to have to, and they'll run it all the way down and call a timeout, I would assume, and then punt it away. So we'll see how much time they get left with. The problem is they are going to have to go quite a ways, probably close to, depending on the return, probably close to 60, 70 yards. So down to 34, 35, 32 is actually what ends up left on the clock. And that's the time that Green Canyon will have to try to complete the comeback.
Now there's still a chance for Green Canyon. Still a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you there's a chance.
That typical Jim Carrey quote from Dumb and Dumber.
That exposes our generation. You're kind of the younger end of my generation,
Yeah. Yeah,
What year did you graduate from high school?
2000.
2000. Okay. Well, you're the generation behind me. I was 88.
I was in first grade, 1988.
I wasn't even born in '88.
Yeah, 88.
My sister was, but I was actually born in '92.
92.
Well, here we go.
I like the year 88 because the word great rhymes with it. Great, date, mate, eating food off my plate.
And plus also
Right.
Love to go to state.
those were Van Halen's golden years too.
Of course they were.
Sadiq back to punt. Return man sitting at the 24. I think Sadiq's going to get it higher than that. Blocked!
Oh my goodness!
Blocked, and it's bouncing back toward the 10. The ball gets dove on, but either way, it's going to be Green Canyon at the 5. Are you kidding me?
Goodness!
What a
What
play.
a change in momentum right there.
That was crazy.
Wow.
That was crazy. But you know what? Out of the two lines, both offensively and defensively, Green Canyon's lines have played better in the second half.
Well, and they blocked a field goal earlier, if you recall.
Yeah, they did.
And now they block a punt and set themselves up at the 6-yard line, first and goal with 24 seconds
and a field
left.
goal wins it.
Yeah, I mean, hold on to the football and center yourself up. You know, try to get into the end zone, I suppose, but you better hold on to the football if you're Green Canyon.
And don't do what Lake City did against Madison a couple
Yes,
of years ago.
don't do that.
Don't
Yeah.
fumble the victory formation snap. And Skyline fans are getting loud beneath us.
In the gun is Stevens. Rolls to his left. Throws. Out of bounds. I don't know why you're throwing the ball here.
Well, it does stop the clock.
I guess that's true, but
you'd have
that's
4 downs.
true.
it
They don't
stops
have
the clock.
timeouts.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
and
right.
The thing is, like, even if you try to run it and you get stopped, you would have to get up to the line of scrimmage as fast as you
And
can.
spike it, probably.
Correct. That is true. So now Green Canyon getting their quarterback over to talk to him. We'll see what they do here. If you are going to run it, you got to, like you said, run it, get back up there, spike it, and line up for your field goal. Don't leave much time if you can help
Yeah,
it.
and make sure you're at the correct angle.
Yeah.
For your kicker.
Now he runs to the right. Going to go for the score. He gets tackled. So now you got to get back. You got to get back to the line of scrimmage quick. 12 seconds. The field goal unit's coming on. I think you try to spike it.
You have to spike it here.
They're going to try to kick the field goal, and they're not going to get it off. They do. It's good, and they win it.
my.
Green Canyon somehow gets to the line of scrimmage and wins it.
Yeah, and we're going to get a meeting from the officials because that might not have been hiked in time.
Well, they got off before the horn. It's good,
It
and
did.
that's the ball game.
Yeah, the buzzer sounded well after the ball was snapped, and Skyline fans don't like it, but
Well, and for Skyline, they got nobody to blame but themselves. They just flat out got outplayed in the second half. They shut Green Canyon out in the first half 15-0 and got shut out in the second half 16-0.
What a finale here on Friday night. The Green Canyon Wolves were down 15-0 coming into the second half. They block a punt to put them on the 6-yard line. They should have lined up and spiked the ball. There was only second down. They should have lined up and spiked the ball. They don't. They try to get up there for a field goal, and they get it off just in time. We're going to step away. We're going to come back with our IdahoSports.com player of the game. What a finale here at the Rocky Mountain Rumble. We'll be right back.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
Welcome back as we're final here in just a fantastic finish. The first half was owned by the Skyline Grizzlies. They were up 15-0, leaving the field. Green Canyon comes back, scores, dominated time of possession. Really dominated the game. They block a punt and cover it back at the 6-yard line with 24 seconds left. A couple plays later, with time winding off the clock, they're able to somehow get everybody lined up for a field goal and kick the winning field goal as time expired. What a game.
It was crazy. It was crazy, no question about it. Sadiq looking back, there's a lot of things he'll say. He'll probably think, I could have just taken the sack and been better off or whatever. But Sadiq played a heck of a game. He tried hard. He was doing the right thing with the punt. He was doing exactly what he was asked to do. I think when it comes down to it, the offensive and defensive line for Green Canyon played better in the second half. They outplayed Skyline's lines in the second half.
Yeah, just a great ball game. And let's not overlook the field goal kicker for Green Canyon. It came in, knocked in the field goal. If I'm not mistaken, it's Boston Heap, number 14. There was such a commotion, I didn't even catch who the field goal kicker was. But to get out there, be settled enough in such a pressure situation with time running out, he got up there and knocked it in just as calm as day.
Yeah, he did.
So just a fantastic end of our day here for the first day of the Rocky Mountain Rumble. All right, Lance, our IdahoSports.com player of the game.
We're going to go with Jack Stevens, junior quarterback for Green Canyon.
He really led the comeback, involved in the big pass plays, getting everybody in position, and with his legs, too. He was really successful running the football and getting things set up. So congratulations to you, Jack Stevens. Congratulations to your team on just a great comeback victory, as now they move to 3-0 on the season, all close games. And Skyline seemingly had a W. They'll fall to 0-1, and they'll go on to next week.
Yeah, and every game now, 3 victories for Green Canyon. The total spread, 7 points.
Pretty good for them.
So you got to nickname them the Cardiac Dogs.
That's right. That's right.
Because like I said earlier, a lot of fans from Green Canyon are probably going to go up to those kids and tell them to stop giving them heart attacks throughout the ball.
That's right. But better if you're going to give them a heart attack to win giving a heart attack than to lose giving a heart attack.
That's true. At least you're happy with the heart attack instead of sad.
Yeah, well, at least the bright side is like the more stress you put your heart through, the more potentially lowers your blood pressure.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, unless you have anger issues sometimes.
That's Lauren.
Yeah, exactly. This has been an IdahoSports.com game stream production of East Idaho Game Night presented by Teton Auto Group. Our major sponsors that make coverage on IdahoSports.com possible include your local Toyota dealer, Toyota, let's go places, Valleywide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter, Idaho Fights Tobacco. We'd also like to thank our local advertisers for tonight, Teton Toyota Volkswagen, Teton Volkswagen there in Idaho Falls, for all that they do for us and for the community and the athletes. Congratulations again to our IdahoSports.com player of the game, number 8, Jack Stevens, for the Green Canyon Wolves. And thanks for joining us here on IdahoSports.com as the Green Canyon Wolves come back and defeat the Skyline Grizzlies 16-15. For my broadcast partner, Lance Taylor, and CJ Parkinson, and everyone else behind the scenes at IdahoSports.com, I'm Lauren Jensen saying so long till tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be joining us for day 2.
11 a.m.
Rocky Mountain Rumble, 4 games on the slate. Join us and stay tuned to IdahoSports.com. Come back to the website. There's lots of games going final around the state. Check out the Friday Night Flash, as well as all the other features on IdahoSports.com. Thanks. Have a great night and travel safe.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com Game Stream.